Okay, so let's talk about UK immigration, because some big news just dropped. The government has officially set firm dates for some major new rules. And believe me, they're coming into effect a lot sooner than many people were expecting.
So, you're probably wondering what exactly is changing here? Who's going to be affected? And the million-dollar question, when do these new rules actually kick in? Well, that's what we're here to do. Let's break it all down. All right, so quite a few key visa routes are in the spotlight here. We're talking about some pretty significant updates to the super popular skilled worker path. There are also big changes for students and recent graduates. And yeah, even those elite routes, the high potential individual and global talent visas, they're getting some adjustments too.
Okay, let's kick things off with the skilled worker visa. This is a big one, probably one of the most used routes to get into the UK. And honestly, this is where we're seeing some of the toughest new requirements, not just for the people applying, but for the companies looking to hire them as well.
So one of the first really big hurdles is the English language requirement. It's getting a serious upgrade. Applicants are now going to have to prove a B2 level of proficiency. To put that in perspective, that's like an A-level standard, a big jump up from the current B1, which is more like a GCSE level.
And listen, there's a hard deadline for this one, so you'll want to mark this down. This new, much tougher language rule kicks in for all new skilled worker applications starting January 8, 2026.
But it's not just the applicants who are facing higher standards. It's about to get a whole lot more expensive for businesses too. Get this, employers are now looking at a steep 32% hike in the immigration skills charge, and that's the fee they have to pay for every single foreign worker they sponsor. That's a big jump.
So what's the big idea behind this? Well, the government has been pretty clear about its objective. The thinking is, by making it more expensive to hire from abroad, they're hoping to push companies to invest more in training up the local, domestic workforce and, cut down on the overall reliance on overseas recruitment.
All right, let's switch gears and talk about international students and graduates. Their path is changing in some pretty major ways too, with some significant new hurdles popping up, both while they're studying and after they've finished. Okay, this is a biggie. The post-study work visa is getting a major haircut. The amount of time graduates are allowed to stay in the UK to find a skilled job is being chopped by a full 6 months. So instead of the current 2 years, it's going down to just 18 months.
Now, this change isn't happening tomorrow, but it is definitely on the horizon. This shorter post-study work window will officially take effect for graduates starting from January 1st, 2027.
So why the cut? Well, the official justification from the government points to their own internal data. They're basically saying that, look, too many graduates on the 2-year visa just weren't moving into the high-skilled, graduate-level jobs that the whole route was originally designed for.
And that's not the only thing. The financial barrier to entry is getting higher as well. Starting with the 2025-2026 academic year, the amount of money that prospective students have to prove they have in the bank just to support themselves, well, that's being increased again.
But, here's the interesting twist. It's not all about tightening the screws. While a lot of these common visa routes are becoming more restrictive, the government is also, at the exact same time, opening the door wider for a very, very select group of people.
So how does this all balance out? Well, it looks like the strategy is to create a much more selective system. It's like they're rolling out the red carpet for what they consider to be high-skilled or top-tier global talent.
This whole focus on elite talent really boils down to 3 specific visa routes. First, the HPI route. That's for graduates from the world's top universities. That's being expanded. Second, the global talent route is getting a boost. They're adding new provisions for architects and expanding the list of prestigious prizes. And finally, they're making it way easier for entrepreneurial students to just switch over to an innovator founder visa.
And the goal here is ambitious, but it's crystal clear. They want to double the number of people coming into the UK through these specific high-skilled routes. It's really all about making sure the UK stays a top-tier destination for the best researchers, innovators, and creatives, especially in those key growth sectors.
Okay, that was a lot to take in. So let's pull all this together and do a quick recap. With all these different changes on the way, here are the key dates and the main takeaways you really need to keep in mind.
So if you look at the timeline, these changes are going to roll out over the next couple of years. First, we'll see the increased financial proof for student visas. Then, in early 2026, that new higher English language standard for skilled workers kicks in. And finally, right at the start of 2027, the shorter post-study work visa becomes the new reality.
When you put it all together, what we're seeing is the creation of a much more targeted,
much more selective immigration policy. It's a system that's pretty clearly designed to raise the bar for a lot of people, while at the same time rolling out the red carpet for a select few. And that really leaves us with one big question to think about. As this new immigration landscape takes shape, who are the real winners, and who might end up getting left behind?
You won't want to miss what's next. Subscribe, like, and follow for more updates straight from Bow's News Network.